Welcome back to Reliving Retro, Season 3, Episode 11, Street Fighter 2. We have a very special guest on with us for our holiday episode. Appreciate you joining us, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, thank you guys for having me again.
Of course.
So, I go by Gamer Ahmer. My name is Brandy. I do have a YouTube channel. I also am on pretty much every single social media where I just kind of show, my journey of collecting video games, playing some games, just toy collecting as well, anything and everything that I can just relive my childhood memories through. So I just try and go for a lot of the things that I remember as a kid, some of the things that I wanted to try out back then, and everything that I discover in between. So just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, it's not all video games, right? It looks like you have a ton of toys behind you. Is that a sealed Tiger Power Rangers handheld that I see?
Yes. So that, right here.
There it is.
Right there.
That is the Tiger Electronics handheld for the Power Rangers. I actually got that several years back in a toy store, and I think I only paid like $20, and now sealed ones go for a lot more than that.
Yeah, not bad.
Cool.
Not bad. Did you ever have any of those, Yaiser?
No.
Dude, I had a ton of them, right? Because like when you're a kid and you don't have like, money to buy new video games all the time, like that was kind of as close as you were going to get. And those things, I think they were about $20 or so, like back in the day, like $15-$20, something like that. And they had them for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they actually had them for Street Fighter. I had one of the Street Fighter ones
cool.
When I was a kid. I also had all the Street Fighter action figures.
Nice.
So I mean,
Cool.
they were pretty fun to play with. But yeah, so a couple of getting to know you questions. What was your introduction to gaming? And what console was your first console?
So my introduction was actually over at my cousin's house. So they were a pretty large family, so they were able to get a Nintendo Entertainment System.
Nice.
And we actually grew up playing that. So anytime I went over there to, hang out with my cousins or play games, we would just turn on the TV. We would play Super Mario Brothers. We'd turn off the TV but keep the system on. We'd run outside and play all day and come back inside, and we would just continue playing like we had never stopped. And that was our way of kind of playing games. And then I always wanted my own console. So when I got a little bit older for Christmas one year, my parents got me the Jungle Green Donkey Kong Nintendo 64. So
yeah.
There you go.
I love
You had that,
playing
right,
that.
Yaiser?
Yeah, my brother had it, but yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was definitely like my pride and joy. I played all the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, all the Mario, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. It just really kind of drew me in. And then several years passed, and I found my childhood Jungle Green N64 in like a bin that my parents had kept in the basement. And then I just wanted to recollect everything that I had and every other system, and it just kind of sparked that joy for me all over again.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine. So that being said, what are your favorite types of games to play now, like your favorite genres?
Fighting games.
Okay, perfect.
Here we go.
Very nice. Yeah, because this week we did play Street Fighter 2. Now, there are many of Street Fighter 2s, right? We played, at least me and Yaiser, we played Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior. We played it for the Super Nintendo, which I believe also came out for the Sega Genesis. Actually, I don't know if this one came out for the Genesis, right? Was it Super Street Fighter maybe came out for the Genesis? I don't know.
I think it was like the championship one.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
It's
There's
like
Street
a
Fighter
blue, green looking one, I think.
Yeah. So I guess before we get into anything, let's get all these different Street Fighter 2s out of the way, okay? So there's Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior. That one came out in 1991, and this is the one where you played as like the main roster of like the 8 characters. Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition came out, and this is the first revision of the game that came out a year later, and it brought those 4 unlockable those 4 extra characters, Belrog, Vega, Sagat, and M. Bison,
Mhm.
and you could play as those four. So you couldn't play as those four in the original,
Gotcha.
but you can in Championship Edition. And then Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting came out, which is just a faster game. It's like a more competitive version, I guess. From what I'm gathering, it's really just the speed of the game increases, and it's a little bit harder to pull off all the crazy moves and stuff like that. Like, you need to be more precise. Also, most of the characters were given additional special moves to make them a little bit more well-rounded and introduce a more strategic play.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Then you think you're getting Street Fighter 3, right? No.
Probably not.
Super Street Fighter 2 in 1993 comes out. Biggest addition to this game was that the four new characters, there were four new characters. T-Hawk, Cammy, Fei Long, and DJ.
I don't know those guys.
Yeah. So that was Super Street Fighter 2. And then there's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. The biggest improvement to this version is the addition of super combos, and Akuma was added to this game. And then in 2003, you get Hyper Street Fighter 2, which is just a minor revision because apparently all of these have been like crazy revisions. But yeah, it essentially just runs as like a greatest hits version of the game.
Oh.
And then in 2017, you have Ultra Street Fighter 2: The Final Challengers.
Okay.
Yeah, see what I mean with the never ending? Street Fighter 3, I think, eventually came out at some point. I know that there's like a Street Fighter, there's like Street Fighter EX, Street Fighter EX2, EX3. There's Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, I think, came out like a few years ago. There's a lot of Street Fighters, man, but luckily we're playing just plain old regular Street Fighter 2.
Was there one?
There was a one, I believe, but I think it was just in the arcade. And then there was also a game called Fighting Street, which I think is just TurboGrafx, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
Or 3DO, one of those obscure systems.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's wild. Maybe we'll get to those eventually. But prior experience to this game, Ahmer, have you had? I'm assuming you've had prior experience with this game.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yaiser?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and man, me too. This was when I got my Super Nintendo. This is actually a little fitting for the Christmas story, or the Christmas episode, I guess, because I have a story that goes along with it where I believe I just told this on another show that we did, but my parents had gotten us a Super Nintendo and they kept it underneath their couch, and I noticed it. It was under there. You know what I mean? Like they didn't wrap it for Christmas. They just kept it under there, and then every night when we go to bed, they pull it out and they play it. And I got two games. Got Super Mario World, which came with every single console ever, I think, and then Street Fighter 2 was the other game that I got. So I've had that one since launch, and man, when I fired up the game, just that Capcom like loading screen, it just hits me with so much nostalgia. It might be one of the most nostalgic sounds I can even hear.
Wow.
Just that Capcom sound. All right, let's get into the story. And Yaiser, you want to start off the story?
Yeah, I'll start off with the story. So the basic story is just like, 8 guys and girls and girl enter a fighting tournament to see who can like earn the chance to fight Bison, pretty much, right?
Yeah, that's it, huh?
That's pretty much it. But in the manual, each character has like 2 paragraphs, I'll say, of like backstory of like who they are, where they came from, why they're in the tournament even.
Mm-hmm.
So I think because of all that they put in there, I think I'm going to give it a 3. It's still not, the story is still very, very basic, but I think I'm bumping it up a little bit just because of that. The little, they give us a little treat in the manual, which I thought was pretty cool.
Okay, that's fair. Gamer Ahmer, what about you?
So I gave it higher than that I don't know if I'm biased on this game because I love fighting games, but I thought that it was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does every single character have their own backstory, and I feel like the story is very fitting for the game. It can't really be too complex, I guess, for this particular thing.
Right.
And I guess based on that, I gave it a 5.
Oh shit!
you go.
Nice. All right.
I know it might be a little high, but to me, I thought it was fantastic. I like how every single character, they're very fitting towards the story that they drove for that. So I
Mhm.
feel like everyone is very, like, essentially fitting. And even with the different, I guess, like, countries and everywhere that everyone's from, like, all around the world, I felt like their character is very, it's representative based on where they're from. The character's very fitting, the backstory of everything, and then essentially, you have the evil ones and why you're essentially going in this whole entire fight to go up against Bison at the end. I mean, I just thought that it was great. Fantastic.
Yeah, and I think that's fair.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll hate my score, but I think it's fair. I didn't read any of the manual. Yaiser did alert me to some of the fact that they have like background stories and stuff like that. I feel like you don't really get any of that when you just play the game. When you just kind of boot it up, it's pretty. To me, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, okay, like you're this guy, you have to fight through these other guys to get to bad guy, right, and kill the bad guy. I don't think it's terrible. I'm not going to give it a 1 or anything like that because it's not non-existent. There is a story. I also just think it's fairly basic, but it doesn't need to be anything crazy. It's a fighting game,
Right.
But I gave it a 2.5, kind of right in the middle, because I didn't want to kill it, but I also didn't want to like completely like reward it for there not really being a story.
Yeah.
So a little bit of different sides of the spectrum there, but trust me, that's my lowest grade. It only goes up from here.
Perfect.
Yeah. Let's get into the gameplay, and Gamer Ahmer, if you want to take it away from there.
So I love fighting games. I love this like simplicity, yet I love how during the gameplay you have different moves. So you don't just have one kick, one punch. You have a difficulty. And depending on that, depends on like the speed and everything else and the amount of damage. So I thought that was very key in this fighting game, is I've played tons of fighting games that you would think kind of sound and look good, but then as you start playing, it's just so simple, so basic. So compared to the other games that I've played on the Super Nintendo, like there's like filler titles essentially, or some of like those sports titles of fighting games. I felt like this was very strong in that note of the actual gameplay. I also like how not every player was playable at the beginning. I felt like having those 8 characters and then going up against the 4 characters, it kind of made it a little bit more like, I guess, like scary in a way, where you don't really feel that you can be those characters. Like you're going up against them, and then there's a reason why you can't play them.
Yeah.
So I kind of had it as like that representation. I also graded that one very high as well.
Hit us with it.
So I did a 5.
There you go.
I get it.
I didn't do all 5s.
I mean,
hey,
I could see someone doing it though,
Yeah, I mean, these are your scores. Nobody's going to ridicule you for your opinion on the game. So, don't be too shy or embarrassed to give us your legitimate score here, right? Like I mean, Yaiser, for example, has had some games where, like, we knew the guest was going to love the game, and he was just like, you know what, not a fan. Straight up, I'll tell you, I don't like it, and that's what we're looking for, right? Honesty, because everybody has different opinions, and it's totally okay. So, I'm not far from you here. I think the gameplay is very, very good. I think it's as polished of a stage fighter that you're going to get on the system. I know that there was probably 3 more revisions of this game that came out for the Super Nintendo, but as far as I'm aware, this is still the gold standard in fighting games, right? This is basically the fighting game that like every other fighting game bases their mechanics off of, right? I gave it a 4, and the only reason why it wasn't a 4.5 or a 5 is because fighting games just really aren't my thing. Stage fighters just not my favorite genre of game, so it's not something that constantly drives me to like keep playing it. I don't feel like it has a certain amount of replayability, but only if you feel driven to replay it, I guess.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like if you feel necessary, like it necessary to go through and beat it with like every single character, then you can do that. But as far as I go, like I kind of just beat it and I'm like, okay, cool, I beat Street Fighter. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but it's very good. I think it's a lot of fun. I especially think the breakup, like they kind of break up the stage fighting aspect with the, you're breaking like the car apart and stuff like that in the bonus stages, and those were always my favorite as a kid. I don't know why I found it way more enjoyable to beat the crap out of a car rather than another person, but it did just seem like a lot of fun to me, so I had a good time doing that. So I gave it a 4 overall.
Yeah.
Yaiser?
I'm right there with you. I was thinking about going a little lower for this same reason. This is that fighting games just aren't my thing.
Yeah.
If I played it some more and actually learned how to do the special moves and like combos
Mhm.
and stuff, I probably would have rated it even higher because it is. I mean, I don't know. You can't get any better on the console as far as stage fighting goes.
I don't think so. I've played a ton of other ones, and this one's always the one that I would go back to.
Yeah, and it's fucking classic. Do they still have like Street Fighter 2 tournaments? I'm sure they probably do.
They
right?
probably
They
do.
do.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Like at cons and stuff like that, I'm sure that they fire those up.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, yeah, pretty solid game. If fighting games were my type of game, it could have been even higher than that.
Yeah. Gamer Aimer, you said that fighting games are one of your favorite types of games. Is Street Fighter 2 your favorite fighting game?
I'm more of a Mortal Kombat person,
Okay.
but that's only because like the fatality and the more like gore stuff I like a little bit more.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I would say that Street Fighter's up there as well. It's like
Okay.
those two. There
Well,
wouldn't
because
be
like
any that top it, I guess.
yeah, because I was gonna say there's like a few like big name like fighting franchises, I guess, right? Because there's also like Tekken. There's
mhm.
also
Soul Calibur,
Soul Calibur was the
Oh,
one I was
yeah.
all the
other one I
Dragon
was thinking
Ball
of.
Z games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Dragon Ball Z games I think are a little different too, because they're not like 2D. I feel like it makes it a little bit more fun because you can do different stuff.
Yeah.
As far as like you can fly and other, I don't know. We'll get into those at
Smash
some.
Bros count as a fighting game?
Yeah.
I guess technically.
Yeah. They're stage fighters too.
Marvel versus Capcom, the
Yep.
DC fighting ones that they
Yep.
did.
Yeah, there's a
Injustice.
ton of fighting games. It's kind of crazy. There's like even like the TMNT tournament fighter game.
Oh, I
which
love
is
that game too.
yeah, which is to me it's like it feels like a Street Fighter clone. Like I don't know. I know it's not exactly, but to me Street Fighter's still like superior in that category.
I just had a really weird memory of a fighting game that I had for PC like long time ago. I think it was SFX. You ever play that? I think it was called
I don't know.
SFX. It was weird.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Google it.
SFX.
Not right now. But, oh, you want to do it right now?
I'm doing it right now. I don't see anything.
SFX.
Oh wait, I should probably Google for PC, right?
Yeah, PC fighting game.
Interesting.
I think that's what it was called. I could be off.
You might be. Who knows? All right,
Not sure if I've heard of that one.
Let's get back into it. Gamer Aimer, do you want to start us off in visuals?
I can. So I like how this game, it's not just, both characters. You have like a whole background scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like the background scene. Now that's also where I have a little bit of some gripes. I guess because it was so, early on, the visuals for me weren't 100% there. Just because your eyes do wander in like the background. Now they do have, things that move in the background, but like the characters and the people in the background kind of look a little stiff.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's a little bit of like a gripe, I guess, for me. But I do like the visuals for what it was, I guess, at that time.
For sure.
So I would say that's probably around a 4.5 for me. It only impacted it just a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I'm right around you. I have it at a 4. I can't I don't think I can verbally express how like that I liked it that much less than you, really. You know what I mean? Like, I just, for whatever reason, it didn't get to like a 4.5 to me. I don't think it reaches like Donkey Kong Country level of like visuals for
Yeah.
the system.
I think the colors, it doesn't have those poppy colors. Like
Yeah, it
Donkey
doesn't.
Kong does.
Yeah, it doesn't really pop like that as much. I love the character designs though, and I love the
Mhm.
stage designs. I think the stage designs are perfect. Especially like Ryu. Oh, are you a Ryu or a Ryu? Like, how do you pronounce it?
I think in one of my videos someone came at me, so I assumed it's Ryu now because
Yeah,
a lot of people
Oh,
came at
wow.
me.
I've been pronouncing it Ryu
Yeah.
I think
forever.
that's what I used to say, but then I
Yeah.
like,
I
you know,
think
how you do those like pronunciations on like you
Like
listen to
Google?
it like 30,000 times, and I
Yeah.
thought somewhere it said Ryu. I don't know.
It probably does.
I'm not gonna yell at anyone. If you want to
Whatever.
pronounce it, however, if you want to make up a whole way, that's cool.
Right. It's like the Ninja Gaiden thing.
Yeah, I don't
Like
even know.
People get upset about that too, and I don't care how you say it either.
He's Ryu to me.
Yeah. Anyway, Ryu's stage is super. It's iconic. You know what I mean? They even made it a level in Smash Bros. When he was in when he showed up in that game. So yeah, I mean, I gave visuals a 4. I think it's really, really good. Yeah,
I'm right there with you at 4. Yeah, the stages are designed dope. I think Guile's stage is pretty cool too. They're on like the runway with the fucking plane and shit.
Yeah, it is.
And of course the characters, like you said. What are you guys' favorite character design? I'm going with Vega.
Oh, Vega's is pretty sick. As far as character design goes,
yeah,
I love Ryu.
I have a problem with Ryu now that I read the book, though. I showed you too.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I love Blanca's too. I think Blanca looks awesome.
Oh yeah, he is dope.
I think he does look really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I know Yaiser, you're not a fan of Zangief, but he was one of my favorites as a kid because he would do like wrestling moves.
Yeah.
He has like this like pile driver type of move.
Yeah,
and
he does.
I think that's pretty awesome. He also just had like all these like bloody like lines. I feel like they were supposed to be popping veins, but like
I think I always assumed they were tattoos.
Tattoos, really? Oh,
yeah, maybe.
Are they supposed to be tattoos?
I don't know.
I always just thought they were supposed to be like bulging, bloody veins. I don't know why.
Gross,
yeah,
dude.
he just seems so roided out. I just assumed that's what it was supposed to be.
A lot of hair too.
Who did you guys use the most?
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li.
Oh, nice.
She's dope too. Does she say you suck when she beats you? I feel like she says that, unless she says something in Chinese, which is totally possible.
I can't remember now.
I feel like she says you suck, but I don't know. That's what I always thought she said to me when I was a kid.
Back in the day, I was a Guile guy.
Yeah, I used to be Guile when I was a kid because it rhymes with Kyle, which is my name.
Oh.
But I also like Ryu a bunch, and was that pretty much it? I think that was pretty much all I played as.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Character designs are dope.
Yeah, and like the levels and stuff where it like matches them. I think that's all very cool how they incorporated that. Like everything meshes well.
For sure.
Definitely.
Do you know if there's any truth to this, Gamer Ahmer? Do you know if M. Bison, the bad guy, the main villain boss person, originally that name was meant for the boxer Belrog, right? And then I think there was an issue because it was obviously like a play on Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And so they switched it. They switched the names of M. Bison to the bad guy who was supposed to be Belrog.
I heard of something like that, like something with the Mike Tyson aspect.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure if that's true, so nobody in the comments like quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I've heard
I saw that
before.
too when I was looking some things out a while ago. Yeah,
right. I think all four of the by the way, Sagat I think was always the hardest guy, right? In my opinion.
It's those Muay Thai kicks, man.
I always thought he was way harder to beat than Bison ever was. Anyway, let's get over to sound. Yaiser?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't know why I'm not going 5 here. I wrote down 4.5. It's because they're all just bangers, you know.
They really are.
I could go. Let's go 5. Can we
Yeah.
clean sweep on 5? Can we all agree? Let's say it all at once.
Yes.
5.
Yeah, 5.
5.
Yeah. All right, cool. We're all on 5 then for sound because I
Cool,
think that
yeah.
makes the most sense. This soundtrack is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Gamer Hammer, do you have a favorite from, like, what's your favorite level, like, soundtrack?
I'm not too sure.
No,
There were a couple that were like catchy. I think Ken's was pretty catchy.
Mm-hmm.
I like them all.
Yeah, I think my favorite's either Ryu or Guile. I feel like they're both really, really good. And we actually listened to some just to kind of refresh our minds right before we started recording.
Mhm.
And the end credits theme is a banger.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The
That's
end
a bop
credits.
for sure.
For sure, man.
But yeah, this to me, this is one of the best soundtracks on the entire console.
Yeah, I could agree with you there for sure.
And even like the sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like that makes it too. Like it's not just the music. Like you have the extra oomph.
Yeah,
You know, like,
I was saying that when we were doing our playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the sound of me landing the kicks on you is like so super satisfying. I mean, at least
they're like phrases and stuff, just everything. I mean, you think of Ryu and all them and
Hadouken. Like, how iconic is that?
And like the announcer with like the fight and it's a good time.
Lose. I heard
that. Just like I've heard that a lot. It gets it like pumping, like you're in the action ready to go. And then if you're playing like 2-player, against someone else, like you're just let's go.
Yeah, no, I for sure 100% agree. Sound is a 5. I don't know how you could really give it any lower than that. You almost did.
Yeah. I almost give it, but
I'm glad you changed your mind.
Me too.
Because I think it deserves a 5. All right, let's get into aged. I feel that this game aged super well. Really, the only thing that I think kind of ages it for me is just the fact that you don't have like a joystick.
Yeah, the controller. I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's just the hardware, but that's not the game's fault at all. I gave it a 4.5 in aged, and again, I think the biggest reason why it ages so well is I still think this is the blueprint for a good fighting game. I think that any good fighting game probably starts with Street Fighter 2. How can we improve on what was already classic?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I went 4.5. Gamer Ahmer?
I gave it a 5.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
So whenever I go to like video game conventions and stuff, a lot of them actually use this game or the Turbo. And that's what they're playing their competitions of. And people are constantly going, and a buddy of mine entered in, he's just doing the Chun-Li kicks. I mean, it's hilarious to watch. People compete with this stuff. And there's so many of these games. If you look at like how many Street Fighter games there are, or Street Fighter 2 variations of it.
Exactly.
There were like 4 or so on the Super Nintendo, or maybe even 5. I mean, there were just so many of them. And just the arcade machines and stuff too. When you go in there and you're playing against people and Street Fighter, I mean, it's just something that everyone knows. You can literally ask anyone about a fighting game, and they're either going to say Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat right away. And most of the time, they're going to say Street Fighter.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say most of the time, yeah. I think the fact that they're still like playing this game in tournaments is just wild. That speaks, volumes to how it aged. But I did give it a 4.5, not a 5, and for the same reason. It's like the control. I think it's probably more of a me thing than the game thing.
Right. It's hard to fault the game for using what it had at the time.
Right. And even if I played it more, I'd probably get better at it and like not be like even a little bit frustrated with it. Because when me and you were playing in the playthrough video, I was having a hard time even figuring out how to move backwards. But you have to jump and move backwards. So like, okay. I mean, I just needed to play more to refresh the brain more and like just get better at it. So honestly, if I played it more, I probably would have got a 5 from me, but I'm landing here at a 4.5.
All right. So total scores here. I came in at the lowest at a 4. And then Yaiser next with a 4.1, and Gamer Ahmer setting the Reliving Retro all-time high score at a 4.9.
Whoa!
Yeah,
shit!
You did it.
Awesome.
at least so far. So yeah, I mean, pretty outstanding scores here. I think everybody had a feeling that this game would get pretty good scores. It's one of the absolute must plays for the system, and I think we can all agree that we would definitely recommend that somebody plays this game if they haven't. And yeah,
I don't know who you are if you haven't played. You know, like
you probably haven't played video games really if you haven't played Street Fighter 2, or at least some variation of Street Fighters, somewhere along the way. But yeah, I mean, this along with like Gamer was saying, Mortal Kombat is just it's absolute essential on the console. If you're looking to play stage fighters, you 100% have to play this game
for sure.
That being said, it's the time of the show where we randomly select what we're playing for next week. And next week is a Patreon episode. It is season 3 finale, actually.
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
How quickly it has come and gone.
Dang.
So I'm going to hit the randomize button, and we will pick from the Patreon pool, which is much smaller than the regular pool, by the way. So if you want to support us on Patreon, it's $5 a month. You can buy Yaiser a Yingling.
Yeah, hop in there.
My guy loves them.
I do.
And, you can keep that beast rolling, right? Because you got some right now?
I got a couple.
Is that the big one still?
That's the big one. I got this one, too.
Okay. Anyway.
Thanks.
$5 a month to support Yaiser's Yingling habit. Is it? That sounded worse, right?
Yeah, people aren't going to want to contribute to that.
No. It's just a good time.
Yeah, right. It's not a problem till it's a problem.
He's just having a good time. Just give him $5 so he can support his good time.
Come on.
All right. Anyway, let's got out of hand. Let's go ahead and randomly select this game. All right.
All right.
Okay. Gamer Ahmer, are you ready to guess the game here? It's gonna be fun.
Guess it out of no options.
Out of thin air.
No, yeah, out of completely thin air. You gotta get. No, I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna give you a hint here. Mm-hmm. See if either one of you can guess it.
Okay.
So this is a sports game, I guess.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's a sports game, and it was developed by Neversoft, published by Activision, and released in the year 2000 for a bunch of different platforms, such as the Dreamcast, the N64, and the PlayStation.
Nailed
it.
Nice.
This is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, actually, to be
fantastic
Number
game.
2. Cool.
Yeah. It's funny because you had mentioned the Tony Hawk games earlier when you were talking about your Jungle Green Nintendo 64.
I had Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 first, and my cousins had one. So cool. I played through the second one and then the first one.
Very cool.
Soundtrack 5.
Soundtrack is really good, actually.
Hands down.
To be fair.
Never played it.
You never played it?
No, I know.
Like any of them?
I don't think so.
The first one.
I might have rented one once, but yeah.
We're pretty local to the Albany area of New York, and in the first game, the very first level, Warehouse, actually takes place in Albany.
Oh shit!
Yeah, interesting, huh?
Well,
I believe
right down the road
that Neversoft has a location here in Albany, and they make games.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
They also worked on the same division, I guess, also does like the Guitar Hero games and stuff.
That was my nickname in college.
Okay, buddy. Anyway. All right. I think
I didn't go to college.
Yeah, no, I know. All right. Gamer Ahmer, do you have a possible recommendation for us to add to our master list? Anything that we consider retro would be before the PS3, Wii, Xbox 360 era? Feel free to take your time to think of something.
Did I answer one last time?
You did.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember though.
What did I say last time?
I don't remember what it was.
Was it Mary Kate and Ashley? Did you say that one?
Nope.
That was somebody else.
That was somebody else.
That was somebody else for sure. I don't remember what you put in last time.
Is there one like War of the Monsters for PS2?
Oh, you did give us that. That's what it was.
Darn.
That's what you gave us. Yeah.
That's like one that just randomly pops in my head sometimes.
Yeah. It's one of the ones that like you're kind of like, you know what? Not enough people know about this game.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it on there again. Put it on there a second time.
Yeah, double it up.
Two
double the odds.
chances.
Right, exactly. But no, I mean, if you don't have one off the top of your head, then it's okay. We can just move
Or a
on.
light gun game.
Ooh, like which one?
I mean, I love House of the Dead for any system. They have it on the Wii, so it works on your modern day televisions. If you play like the Wii version.
Okay.
So they have like 2 and 3 returns, and they have Overkill. They have so many light gun games on the Wii, and they work on modern TVs. I recommend like any of them.
So House of the Dead, huh?
Yeah, I love.
I like it.
Games.
I used to play House of the Dead on the Dreamcast, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I don't know if I.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch of like the gun games in like arcades and stuff.
Oh,
I bet you
because it sounds familiar. Yeah.
They also have Typing of the Dead, I believe, is a game.
Yeah, for the Dreamcast.
Yep, yeah. Where you use the game. You use the keyboard for the Dreamcast.
Oh shit!
And yeah, it's like a little keyboard.
Yeah, it's crazy. The GameCube also had had like a GameCube controller with a keyboard in the middle.
Oh wow!
That was for games like Phantasy Star Online and stuff like that, where you had to type a lot. It's interesting.
That is interesting.
I just love the chainsaw controllers.
Oh, for Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty sick.
Not really fun to play with, but they look cool on a shelf.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't imagine that they're super practical, but they do look awesome.
And I think a couple of them make a noise. One of them does for either the GameCube or the PS2. Like when you like kind of start it, it's pretty cool.
Oh, really? I've never actually used one. I've just seen them like in game stores and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, that looks sick. But I don't think I could ever use it, so I don't buy them.
You like playing a game with a Guitar Hero guitar?
I feel like it'd be worse than that though.
Oh, worse?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've never used it, so. Have you ever played Guitar Hero with like a controller?
No, I played DDR with a controller though.
Yeah, DDR is much easier.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit easier.
You don't like break a sweat. You're just like.
Yeah. So much easier.
That's funny. No, I've never done that.
Love DDR.
Me too. We should play one of those.
DDR?
Yeah.
Oh, I have one for the PS2.
Nice.
I don't know if I have a mat though. That would be fun. How do we record that? That would be embarrassing.
We got cameras.
No, I understand, but like how like mentally, how do I get over that?
Oh, I don't know.
Recording myself do that.
Let's go to the mall and do it, just like the mid-2000s.
That sounds better. Yeah, that actually sounds way better.
And just like a couple songs, because if you're there all day, I'm sure you'll get. It's exhausting. It's like a workout. When I did my weight loss series, which at some point I'll have to do that again, but I actually lost a lot of weight, like 45 pounds, and it was from playing DDR and the Ring Fit Adventure.
I was gonna say I have Ring Fit Adventure, and that thing actually works.
Yeah, it was great.
Is that the one we played that one night?
Yeah, I had you strap it around your leg, and we were drunk, and I was
the
trying
little
to
thing
tell
with
you to
like
run.
the resistance.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a fun game. We're getting a little off topic, but that was a good time actually.
Yeah, it was fun.
I used to do that quite a bit. It would always come up like, "You sure you want to take a break?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude. Like, have you seen
be like, keep going."
Yeah, for sure. But all right. Yeah. So join us next week as we play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Gamer, you want to tell them where they can find you one last time?
Yes. So I'm pretty much everywhere on social media. YouTube, I post a couple times a week, different videos, whether it's related to toys, video games, mostly retro stuff. I do also own newer systems as well. Just pretty much my deals and finds out there, like my once in a lifetime finds, where I'll find, $6,000 World of Nintendo store displays, and someone just randomly messaged me and I get it for a couple $100, and that's because I decided to give them more than what they wanted. And the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out standee, still sealed, the only one in the entire world that we know of right now, offered over $10,000 for it. I paid $80, for the Nintendo Entertainment System, the store display, the 5'9" Mike Tyson display,
Oh shit.
just random things like that. I showcase my journey of collecting these things, kind of going to different game stores, highlighting different things in the community. And I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of these different, Twitter, literally everywhere that I possibly can be. And if there's somewhere else, I'll probably join it as well.
Yeah, definitely go check her out. Her collection is one of the best on YouTube, and that's not an exaggeration. You guys are just seeing a small portion of the small room she's in right now. And obviously you can see she's got quite the collection. So go to YouTube, check out her collection videos, and check out her videos on TikTok as well. But thank you very much, Gamer Ahmer, for joining us. And like I said, check out our season 3 finale next week as we play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 with our closer, Bill Tucker from A Gamer Looks at 40.
Who else?
Right? I mean, he's closed every season so far. I might as well keep it going. So we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.